What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News. Joshua Little John the first on the chat. Yo, Big Kurt, salute to you. Salute to you, Joshua. Awani, White Crow, all champs are European, so he comes here to the U.S. to train. He needs fire. He needs to give Teddy Atlas a ring. Oh, you know what, Gawani, that's not a bad idea. That's a good idea. I was talking about that yesterday. Anthony Joshua going to Teddy Atlas. But maybe Teddy Atlas though, maybe a little bit too unfiltered, too real for him. You know what I mean? Scance Rants. What's up, brother? I like the kid AJ. He needs to come to the States so we can keep him straight with him, like when he was walking around New York City after Ruiz won. People in the streets told him, don't get your ass whooped. Yeah, I remember that. He took that well, though. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, does that him not having that kind of pissed offness stop him from having that killer instinct? Does that killer instinct and that short fuse, does that go hand in hand? You know what I mean? Is the fire or whatnot? Is that something that he needs that he lacks? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people Timothy Bradley's like, hey, he's being too comfortable. Teddy Atlas, he said, hey, I would rather him get a little bit more disappointed to show that he has the fire to want to make a comeback against guys like Usyk. By the way, I'm watching Usyk and Bellew right now. So, I like this fight because it shows a lot of different aspects of Usyk, because he didn't end this shit like he started it. He started it in a totally different strategy. Topentine, he lacks the fire. Scance Rants, what's up, brother? Who's training AJ within the United States? Well, he was at the Reynoso's gym. We know that much. He was there. He was, they say they caught him training in there. And you notice he didn't have a picture with Canelo, so I think he wanted to keep. And Canelo was there, and he was there, but they didn't have a picture together. So I think they tried to keep that under wraps. But come on, man. Joshua and Canelo in the same place, that shit's not gonna keep. Please, somebody's gonna see that somewhere. Ellie Setback, Talk Sports, something like that. They're gonna see that. You know what I mean? And they're going to report that. It's going to be leaked. Max Waller, I think Joshua should train with Fury. Would be a good strategic move to see what's going on inside Fury camp. Plus, it builds the story of their fighting in the ring should he win against Usyk. Max Waller. Why did that remind me of Rocky and Apollo? You know what I'm saying? Like, if they would have fought each other already, that would have been different, because they've had their war in the ring. Yeah, the sparring 10 years ago, that's one thing. But if they would have fought and had an epic saga already, which I feel honestly that should have already happened. That should have happened in either late 17 when Joshua beat Klitschko, and then he called out Fury. If Fury wasn't in the rut he was in, they should have fought. You know what I mean? They should have actually fought then. That would have been the fight to have, because Wilder wasn't big enough at that time. Wilder was still, this is pre-Ortiz. So him calling out Fury, and they would have fought, and then they have other challenges, and other challengers, then therefore it could have been a situation where, okay, yeah, let's bring you in to fight, but then you got to fight me. I think it's a lot of respect for those two. And I know Tyson Fury, he didn't like that shit because he knew that money he was going to make is gone. Or he's greatly affected, let's put it that way. Because if Joshua knocks out Usyk in the rematch, people are going to be like, oh man, he's the best thing. Even though the two have had skirmish of words, AJ should consider Lennox Lewis. Yeah, Lennox Lewis would be better. because Lennox could teach Anthony Joshua everything that he should know to continue his career successfully in the heavyweight division. Shit, in his career, he's a heavyweight. That motherfucker ain't, you know. But I think that's too much in a perfect world, right? I don't think that's going to be the case. AJ was scared of being hit in the head in that fight. Yeah, I mean, I think he got caught with that punch he didn't see, and that shit kind of scared him. But then again, it should definitely be alarming because if you don't see a punch and you thought you were aware and cautious of everything or alert and then you get caught with something, that's a fucked up feeling. You know what I mean? You have to be in that feeling. Like everybody used to talk about Floyd, right? And Floyd can't punch and this and that until they got their ass in the ring with Floyd. Because Floyd would hit you with punches that you don't see. Did Ortiz knew he was going to get hit with a left hook and a right hand? That knocked his ass out, didn't it? AJ needs to do something about his muscles and endurance. He needs to get rid of those fucking muscles. He needs to drop about 7 more pounds. He was 240, he needs to be about 233. Reynoso, oh boy, AJ don't need a diuretics diet. Uh-oh. Not a diuretics diet. That would be a horrible idea. With Fury, you can't train with your enemy. Yeah, he is, because Fury gonna turn on his ass as soon as he wins. Now I've got the big Dalsa by the Usyk, the small cruiserweight. Now he has to fight me. We've trained him. We've conditioned him to do a task. Now it's time to get in here and kick ass, Seabass. Sound is fine. The video average quality, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. This is not even on my laptop. Kurt, honestly, I feel that AJ should get Sugar Hill or Teddy Atlas to train him. Sugar Hill. That'd be difficult. Like, let's say he gets Sugar Hill and he does really well. He ain't gonna be able to use him against Fury because that's Fury's trainer. I mean, what Sugar Hill gonna do? Train both fighters? I can see Atlas, but Lennox Lewis is a better option. But if you notice, AJ he shies away from people that criticize him. If you notice that, you've never seen him on Joe Rogan. You never seen him really talk on like Teddy Atlas, because Teddy Atlas had some things to say about Joshua. You know, I think why Joshua's here, I think he owes it to himself and his fans and everybody else to really respond to a lot of these guys. He needs to be on Joe Rogan. But of course, Joe Rogan's a Wilder fan, and I don't think that's something that he really wants to do, because when you're in there with Joe Rogan, you ain't got Eddie Hearn behind him. You know what I mean? Unless Eddie Hearn is there with him, like he was at the Breakfast Club. You know? So, Kurt, what's your thoughts on Stephen Bredman Edwards as a trainer? AJ needs to go to the city of brotherly love and get Philly tough. He'll get Philly knocked out. And I don't think that's his thing. I really don't think AJ's thing is to be tough now. I think he wants more of the easiest way is the best way to him. Not the most effective, just the easiest. Like, think about it. When he fought, like I told you guys, when he fought Andy Ruiz and outboxed Andy Ruiz for 12 rounds and he seen how easy that was, I think that changed his whole perception. People talk about that, killer instinct, that knock him out, AJ and all that shit, the big burly assassin and all that bullshit. I don't think that guy is around because that guy is being that guy is what caused him to get knocked out. Let's hit that like button. So I don't think that'll ever be. Maybe in spots like we seen in Pulev, but even in Pulev, he was taking his time and he was kind of like a hybrid between the Andy Ruiz rematch and how he was before. AJ's become very passive since Ruiz won. Needs a new framework approach to believe in because he looks devoid of ideas. Now, that's true. Anthony Manzano, Kurt, understand his power and weight translate to heavyweight, but when I looked at Walter, his body type fits better at cruiserweight in my honest opinion. Is Deontay Wilder go far without real skill and with just power? Show Francis Ngannou could get far in boxing. His power did definitely the same. Well, the Gator, you have to understand something. Wilder was carried along carefully. He wasn't carried along like Shelly Finkel did what he managed Deontay the way he felt he should be managed, and for the most part, he did well. If you in terms of not getting him in when fights that are dangerous or not, he's not ready for. You know what I mean? Maybe he wasn't ready for Ortiz in 16 or 15. You know what I mean? You're talking about a guy like Ortiz has been around since 2010. Think about it. So yeah, he didn't want those type of fights yet. You got to slowly. There is a such thing, people. There's bringing fighters in there with fighters too fast, putting too much on a fighter. You know, forcing a fighter, pushing fights on fighters they're not ready for that. So Shelly Finkel looked at that like, look, I'm not like he said, I'm not gonna put Wilder in there with somebody that he's not ready for. You know what I mean? Now he shouldn't have said baby champion. That was totally disrespectful, calling a grown ass man baby. But what he meant. This is what I feel Shelly meant. Shelly meant like, look, I'm not gonna put this guy in with like all these different other fighters, yet. Okay, he just been in the Stavern fight. Stavern was like the big Stavern. Think about it. Stavern was a jump up in opposition and competition, and the belt was included. Yeah, so they had to take that because that was their road to the WBC heavyweight crown. That was making Wilder a champion. So job well done to Shelly Finkel if you really think about it. So talking about people, a person that didn't really have real skill, I seen Wilder box, but he had to. You seen him kind of get unglued with Stavern, and you see he tried to knock Stavern out, which he didn't. But it is what it is. If not Lennox, definitely Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko. The problem with Vlad, though, I don't see how Vlad could help Joshua in terms of beating Usyk. Let's hit that like button. Because if you have a guy that trained with Vlad, which is Usyk, and Usyk gave Vlad fits, what could Usyk... I know they shared some time together. Maybe he could give him some pointers. But I think Lennox Lewis would be far better. I think he would be far better. But, Lennox Lewis, but it just shows you how good Lennox Lewis was. Lennox Lewis is an absolute beast in the ring. That motherfucker was badass. He threw beautiful combinations. He was considered one of those bigger heavyweights. We've seen him looking Tyson Fury eye to eye, a guy that's 6'9". And you got to look at it. Like Lennox Lewis is in his 50s. People shrink over time. They don't get taller or bigger. They shrink. But, Lennox Lewis was here. Tyson Fury was here. You could see those guys side by side. And it wasn't no huge difference. You know what I mean? Because, like, when you get past 5'5", 5'6", come on. That's NBA height. That's NBA height. Hell. Lennox will never train AJ. He never liked AJ. I don't know about that. I think he did once upon a time liked him. He seen the potential in him. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, Pat. Mm-mm. I think just Lennox just got hurt. He was pissed off. He was insulted by Joshua. Joshua did not choose him. It was a rejection. Who wants to be rejected? Especially the former undisputed champ turns promoter, and then you got this British kid that's coming out the Olympics, so he has a great foundation. Then you offer him something that you ain't offered other people, and then he turns it down and get with somebody else, and then on top of that, if that's true, what happened between Lennox and and AJ that AJ didn't want him to come back after the Vlad fight, I believe. Yeah, Lennox should feel that way. Because Lennox is like, well, fuck, dude, you didn't want to be with me. But damn, at the end of the day, shit, you don't have to, throw me away. That's just disrespect at that point. That's just not a rejection. It's one thing to reject someone, but then you disrespect them. That's a totally different situation. So, Lennox Lewis had reason if that happened. I'm not sure if that happened, but that's the word around the campfire, people. So he now all co-trainer of Andy Ruiz. He gets to win in Canelo's camp to teach many some technique by Eddie Reynoso. Brandon Kurt, do you give AJ a chance of beating Usyk if he joins Reynoso? Well, if it gives him the confidence of throwing combinations, especially in times where he needs to see. The problem with Usyk, people think it's easy to come at this man and throw combinations. I'm watching this man right now fight Tony Bellew. Now, Tony Bellew is a slick guy, but he knew, even him, a guy that's a counterpuncher. Bellew's a counterpuncher, right? He was sitting off the ropes a lot of times and setting Usyk up, and he was successful at times. But Usyk is not a dude that he's not going to let you tie him up. He's not going to let you throw 4 or 5 punches at him because you can throw 3 or 4 punches. Just like I seen him. He just threw 3 punches and he made contact with 1. That ain't going to work with Usyk. So, you know what I mean? You better be able to fight like Orlando Salido, which I don't think Anthony Joshua's built or structured to take on someone like that, or conditioned to take on a tough, rugged style like that. Because I think Anthony's all about boxing. Like he says, throwback fighters. You're dealing with a guy that knows. Now, Tony Bellew did a good job. He just ran out of gas. Then he got clipped. Then he got knocked out. So Reynoso, if they can teach him to cut off the ring, if he's going to fight a certain style, the question is, what happens when he's trying to become aggressive, following a guy around that can also punch like Usyk and gets caught? What will be the thought process, or what will go through Anthony's mind when he's cutting off the ring, trying to throw uppercuts, trying to cut him off, trying to throw boom, and he gets a hard shot from Usyk? Will he continue that same technique or that same game plan? Or will he revert back to, okay, all right, I shouldn't do that. Wait, is he here? Is he there? Boop! Oh, fuck. You know what I mean? That could happen with him very easily. Very, very easily. Joshua changed his mindset from bulldozer to boxer, puncher after Ruiz, and doesn't want to switch back to a lesser way of fighting. Well, he needs a combination of both. He needs to be smart, but he also needs to be more aggressive. And I think it's better to hit his body than anything else. It's easier to hit his body, Usyk's body. I mean, he was hitting his body. He should start with a body attack. Fuck it, come out like Wilder, start shooting punches to the body. You know what I mean? Jab, right hand. You know what I mean? Then right hand, left hook. When Usyk tries to, start. Basically, this is what Joshua should do. He should do exactly what Canelo did against Lara in the second half of that fight. I can't hit this fucking guy, so I need to start throwing bombs to the body. Shit, throwing bombs to the body. Try to land something upstairs when you've did enough damage to the body. It's easier. Not saying it'll be easy, because you still got a guy that is nicknamed the Cat. You think that guy's going to actually let you? Like Usyk ain't a dude, man. I've done some videos on Usyk. I'm gonna post them later, but because I don't want to do too much at one time. But yeah, Usyk ain't that type of dude, man. He knows distance. He knows what you're trying to do. He anticipates what you're trying to do. Now this is round 8. He's gonna knock Tony Bellew out now, and it happened so quickly. Tony Bellew is like the last half of round 8. This motherfucker got so tired that quick, but it's almost like Usyk knew, like, okay, he's tired and I'm not going to play with him. He's getting wrapped with left hands. His mouth is open, and boom, he gets hit. Bow, he's over with. He caught him, stunned him, Knocked him out. Bellew's done. He's done. He is in no position to get up. Yeah, that ref did a good job. You know what I mean? And Usyk, he ain't the one to fuck with. He ain't what people thought he was. I've been looking at Usyk for about 4 years, and I've seen him like, you know what? Something's about that cat, and I knew like, you know what? He's gonna do something badass one day, something big, huge. You know, I thought that it was going to go like that Wilder route, but Wilder took the Fury route, and we know how that went. But I was thinking that. I wasn't thinking Usyk Joshua though necessarily, because remember Usyk was signed with Matchroom before with Eddie, right? So I was thinking, okay, well maybe Usyk could be that guy that is not that on the top of the totem pole, but he's very successful, very talented, you know. And then him and Wilder were having beef, so I just knew though, looking at this cat, Steve Tids, England in the house, kind of punch to you. Shola, Ebo Fiend, Reynoso is a good teacher. Reynoso, he don't fuck around either though. You know, and I think Andy Ruiz is another passive guy. You're gonna like passive guys like Andy Ruiz. He's a passive guy. Anthony Joshua, he's a passive guy. These guys are passive. So with passive people, you have to be you have to be aggressive with a passive person. If you're passive, and I think Rob McCracken is passive. I don't think that he's in your face, hands on, micromanaging. You know, you know, on your back, foot on your neck type of coach. I don't think he's that. You know, I don't think that's him. I don't think that's his demeanor. I think he's kind of like, well, good job, and he watches. You know what I mean? No, I don't think that's what it is. I think he needs someone that is going to come in and definitely, you know, like shit. Like Ronnie Shields is another one. You know, the funniest shit I ever seen was Ronnie Shields was cussing out David Tua. That was some funny shit. You know, David Tua, another passive person, right? You know, I think Fury is about 256 and dancing around the ring is his best form. He just had to fight this way versus Deontay. Kurt, but I think versus most, he should do his old way. Okay. AJ can beat Usyk with a change mindset of a trainer. Well, that's mindset, but I mean, you got a guy with hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, millions. You know what I mean? He can go anywhere where he wants to go. Look, he just popped up in America. Boom. He ain't got, you know, like when you got money, you can just go places. You know, he took the jab. He ain't worried about that shit. So, I mean, he can do whatever the hell he wants. AJ avoids negative, right? I guess that's why. AJ can get Jonathan Banks. That's a good one. He's not quite as good as Sugar Hill, but he's still crunk. Well, that could work. At this point, I think changes affect your mindset because it affects your confidence. Because you know when you decide to make a cognitive decision to change, that affects you because you know, like, look, I had to do this because change takes sacrifice. And what I mean sacrifice, not necessarily something you have to do new, something that you're going to have to change, because a lot of people that, you know, loyal people like Joshua, I think that affects him when going in with another trainer, because then he has to be forced with, hey, I got to tell you, man, I got to go somewhere else. I'm letting you go. I mean, that's hard to do. I remember Ricky Hatton did that to his old trainer when he went to Floyd Mayweather. And then I know that hurt his trainer. That trainer was like, he was like, fuck, I don't know what else I could have done. And he still got his ass knocked out, because that was when he went in to fight Pacquiao. That's when the whole PED scandal and shit started, because Floyd Sr. felt a certain type of way because his fighter just got knocked the fuck out. So, Pacquiao had to be on some heavy juice to be doing that to his fighter. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of that happens. Anthony Joshua versus Hellenius. Nah. I mean, that could work. He would beat Elenius though. Like guys like that. See, listen. Understand, Joshua is just not going to get beat by anybody. Now, what is making Joshua look bad though is Andy. See, Andy ain't doing shit for himself. The good thing is Joshua redeemed himself, but Andy hasn't done diggity squat to prove where he is. He's just falling down day after day. See, here's the thing. If Andy don't fight this year, and if Andy don't land a good fight early next year when he comes back, Andy's stock is going to drop that much greater. Trust me. You know what I mean? He took a damn surgery or a cosmetic surgery like Canelo, but then the next week he was in the gym doing squats. I'm like, yo, that's bullshit. Come on, man. Come on, man. Really? You doing squats this early? Squats? Fuck out of here, man. Nah. Big Boss, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Yeah, Joe Rogan, he's a boxing fan, but he's an MMA more, he's more in tuned with rules with MMA. I've been telling people, and what people do, they try to just, well, Andre said it, and Joe Rogan said it, and Daniel Cormier, what is it? Damn. Cormier, he said it. And I'm like, look, 2 out of 3 of them cats ain't even boxing people. So, what's up, Kurt? Joining in late, AJ in America. Yeah, Gerard, he's in America. He's in America. He's checking out gyms. Nikki Blue Eyes Austin, counterpunch to you. Good evening, Kurt. Quick visit as it's near 11 p.m. here. Gotta go to work at 6 a.m. Thank you for the sacrifice of coming in, my good dear. Welcome to the trenches. AJ gone soft, not willing to take a risk in the ring. Scott F., at this point, he deserves all this criticism. Why? Because what you're saying, is that false? No, that's not false. AJ didn't show he was a warrior fighting that guy. Even if he would have just got knocked out by Andy Ruiz, that would have been better than him, like referee doing, like waving it off. No. And then the shit with the clock. So I'm like, okay, dude, they didn't even, people argue, no, fuck, it wasn't early. And I'm like, dude, I seen that towel. I know what I saw. AJ, because passive since the rematch. AJ tried to fight like Usyk, like he did with an 80-year-old Pulev and a 490-pound Andrew Ruiz. It's not the same. Excuse me. Daniel Crawford. Yeah, he tried to mimic Usyk. Like, that was the stupidest shit ever. He shouldn't have done that. Malik Scott seems like a solid trainer. Wilder got punched on the ear, and then the game plan went out the window. Wilder? Well, in that case, then, you know what they should have been prepared for? They should have been prepared for that type of attack. And that just shows you, though, you can't blame that on Scott, though. And Scott may be another hindrance, though, if Wilder gets beat, because Wilder, regardless of what you think of him, he needs to work on his defense. So if he knew he had, it's a such thing as elbow blocks. You know what I mean? So especially the way Fury was targeting that damn side of his face. I remember Sugar Shane used to do that. He'll hit you behind the ear or right above the ear and take you out. He did that with Jesse James Leija. Leija was never the same. That's that Andy Ruiz punch before the Andy Ruiz punch. Okay? That's like, it's a pressure point right here. If you guys feel, it's a pressure point right here. If you get hit right here, that could fuck shit ultimately up. And Tyson hit that area. Bop! Because he knew. That's not behind. If you get hit in the ear, that's not behind the head. And Malik is a solid cat, but it's just like, hey, he caught me in the ear. So if a person hits you in the ear before, that's a punch that you do not want to get hit with. You think Anthony Joshua wanted to get hit with a left hook by Andy Ruiz? No, he was blocking that shit. So that's what made him cautious. The fear or the danger of getting hit with that punch again. Because there's no guarantee how he's going to react to getting hit like that again. It may do the same shit. That's why Andy Ruiz went in there thinking, I'm going to hit him again with the hook. As soon as he gets my hook, I'm going to take him out. I'm going to spend this money, me and my wife. We're going to get drunk. We're going to eat good. We're going to lay out butt naked in the sand. He was thinking all that shit because all he was thinking, wait when if he gets close enough, like his dumb tall ass did before, when he comes close enough, sit, boop, and he got him. Oh, there he is. He's hurt again, Jim. He's hurt. And Andy gonna fucking throw some bees on him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? Because when Andy throws punches if he gets you hurt. AJ is too slow for Usyk. I don't think he's too slow for Usyk. Think about it. He was able to counter Usyk in spots. He just didn't do enough. He had no follow-up. Nah, I don't think it was that bad. Efe was a lot slower than Sanchez. Usyk was just a lot skilled than Anthony Joshua. I don't think it was all that difference of speed. He was faster, but he wasn't like that much faster than AJ. He just knew what he was doing. Jab, 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 paw, jab, jab to the body, jab, 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 shoot one down, jab, jab. And then each time he would jab, he'll be stepping. Jab, jab, jab. He'll go back. Jab, jab, jab. He'll go back. Jab, jab, bop, bop. That's how he would get AJ. And AJ's like, okay, he's coming in. He's going out. He's coming in. He's going out. He's coming in. He's going out. He's coming in. Bap! Oh, because he didn't see it coming. So that's what Usyk was doing the whole time. If you notice Usyk, his fucking jab is like a damn snake charmer. His jab is like a snake charmer. So he's jabbing. He never stops. If you notice, look at another Usyk fight. The next Usyk time you watch Usyk fight. This motherfucker never stops jabbing if he's in front of you or he's on the center line of any kind. He will never stop jabbing. Either he'll paw with it, probe with it. You know what I mean? He might stiff it out there, but you don't ever see him like stiff on a jab. No, it's because he doesn't want you to know where it's going to end up. So he constantly keeps it moving, and then he'll be like, okay, let me lean. Oh, let me lean. That's exactly what he does. But the footwork is on point. So Joshua couldn't handle shit like that. He never seen nothing like that. So you still have to give credit to Usyk because I'm going to tell you, people shitting on Joshua like they are, okay, they're criticizing him. He don't have the killer instinct or whatever. That may be, you know what I mean? He did take that loss like, hey, we'll just go again, because maybe psychologically, like Floyd said, when you lose, it's in your mind. You remember when Floyd was saying that when he was about to fight Manny? He was saying, whenever you lose, a loss is in your mind. Now, how Floyd was trying to be calm. When you lose, it's in your mind. When you lose, it's in your mind. I never lost a fight. I never lost. You know how he always does that shit. I never lost a fight. So that mental idea is never in my mind because I never lost. But everybody that lost, it's in their mind. Every time. Low key. Walter Birch, is Uncle C your real uncle? Hell yeah. That motherfucker's crazy. Hell yeah, he's my real uncle. Yeah, Uncle C. Yeah, Uncle C's a bang. Look. It was crazy. It was like I was visiting him and shit, and he drinks and shit. He hunts. The dude drinks, he hunts, and he always has these stories about like all the women and stuff like that. Good night and God bless Kurt. Quick visit. Nikki Blue Eyes, counterpunch to you, baby. Be good. And he's always talking about boxing because he used to box himself until this crazy ass time. He always tells us these stories and shit. Well, D Hodges, kind of punch to you, brother. D Hodges into the LDB salute, kind of punch to you. Kurt, what you think about Ann Wolf training AJ? Fuck. Ooh. That would be funny because like Ann Wolf, everybody thinks she's like this big, huge stud. She is not. She's just a hardened female. You know what I mean? She's a hardened female that came up tough, was homeless at one point of a time, had a young child, had to take care of her. She had a beautiful story. But Ann Wolf is kind of wild, dude. I know people that know because Ann Wolf did a movie, okay? Like her story, and then she was kind of like she was the damn, what do they call that? I forget how you call it. Like she came in to make sure everything was like legitimate, right? Let's hit that like button. But Ann Wolf was just like, she's crazy. Like she'll get fucked up and come in telling people barking orders. She's a tough brass. Like, you know, it's funny. Like I could see Ann Wolf talking to AJ, and that shit'll be hilarious. It'll be hilarious, bro. Ring Raps. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. AJ needs some stick fire. Some dynamite. We speak in the week, bro. You got it. Yeah, let's go live on Instagram or something like that. Do a Usyk impression. I am Phil. I am very Phil. The fight wasn't stopped early. The zone time wasn't in sync. The Sky reply shows it was full 3 minutes. The towel was waved on the bell. Fact. Please revise. Okay, Kareem. Why was the towel being waved though? Like that was the corner of Joshua. So if it was off, that means it would have been later. So how did they know it was off? Scans Ranch, you're laughing at that shit. Kurt, off topic, your honest opinion, Tank versus Rolly. Tank, I love Tank Davis, man. I love that he took the fight. I love that Floyd let that fight happen. Oh, let this shit happen. Rolly, you're gonna get rolled over. Tank, get him. Tank, you're gonna have to destroy this boy. He been talking all this shit. He got a funny ass nose. He got a funny ass way of doing things. So we're gonna take his ass to school. We're gonna put his motherfucking ass in the doghouse. Then we're gonna pay him. Then we're gonna pay him. They're gonna end his career. We're gonna end his career. We're gonna end his career. He gonna roll his ass out here. He gonna never come to the Mayweather gym. When he come to the Mayweather gym, we're gonna put Terrence Crawford on his ass. we're gonna put Terrence Crawford on him. He gonna get what he gonna get. He gonna get an ass whooping all the way down the line. He gonna get it. He gonna get an ass whooping. He gonna take it from Tank first, but he gonna have to pay us. He gonna have to pay us. He's talking all that shit. We're gonna throw him a little change. We're gonna get him a wardrobe. He gonna think he TMT, and then we're gonna hit his ass with the TNT. we're gonna hit his ass with TNT Tank. We're gonna hit him with TNT. We're gonna hit his ass with TNT Tank. Mm-hmm. Usyk bamboozled AJ. That sounds like something my mom would say. You got bamboozled. It's all about sparring, Sanchez. Can you do an impression of Showbiz Coffee Two Sugars? Yeah. Coffee Two Sugars. What's up, my people? This is Showbiz Dope. All right, man, look. What would I see? All right. Oops, all right, man, look. Love that guy, man. I'll be big as shit, man. She'll be like, bloom. I'm like, oh, you know. Oh, man. Y'all love that guy, man. Up off net. Up off net. I'm gonna get that shirt, man. Love that dude. Like in the morning though, I'll watch Showbiz and I'm like, you could be in a pissed off mood and you hear that silly shit, man. You're like, you can't help but to be happy hearing that. You know what I mean? And that's good. And I'm glad, I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's doing well, and then like people like to see him versus the topic, you know. But yeah, man, Showbiz, man. Up off net. Up what? Up off net. Has Malik been fired? No. Why would Malik be fired? What's up, Kurt? You party all by yourself. Hey, sometimes you got to, man. Listen, here, listen, ear. Nobody should be putting down AJ yet. He may well lose again, but lose again to maybe the best of all times, Usyk. What if Usyk beats AJ, then Fury? You win fights by not getting hit. Mr. H. Hayward. You know what? I couldn't say it any better. And I think people should really witness on what we saw. People are quick to judge. They are quick to judge. Sean Smith, Tyson at 270 plus is too slow for Usyk. Well, the question you ask yourself, will Tyson coming in bigger help him with someone smaller? See, we keep hearing this shit from, we keep hearing it from Carl Froch. We keep hearing it from Timothy Bradley, Andre Ward. We're hearing these predictions from these guys, these ex-fighters. Andre, hey, Kurt, greetings from Brazil. Love your channel. Thank you very much. I lived in Rio a year, in Copacabana, Lime. I was in Lime, actually, and Rio Comprido. I lived the central of town. So, yeah, it was cool. Was Angel Fernandez was the one screaming brilliant? No, I think it was the other guy, Paul. Paul was saying that. Usyk can beat Fury. I think Usyk can beat Fury because he'll come in with a game plan to avoid all the bullshit. Because Fury, the Fury will come in jabbing, feinting. He has head movement, so it will be somewhat of a technical fight at first. But I think Usyk would prefer that. Tyson Fury ain't gonna just run in there. And he's not gonna. And Usyk is not gonna be in a situation where he will let Tyson Fury maul him. But I would like to see what happens when that takes place. Hey, Kurt, are you Dominican? I noticed you travel there. No, I'm not Dominican. Cool. Didn't know about that. Yeah. I lived in Brazil a year. Tyson only came in bigger on Wilder because of Wilder's style of fight, and that was the best thing to do. I mean, I don't even know really, honestly. He only came in 7 pounds more than he did when he beat him the last time they fought. So, and Wilder's not a big guy anyway. He's a tall, rangy guy with freakish punching power. You try to add something to something that's natural, God gifted, it's not going to work. That's what I saw about Wilder. They should have packed on that damn pounds on him just because Fury said he was coming in at 300 pounds. That wasn't the right thing to do. That wasn't the right thing to do. That wasn't the right thing to do. I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that was the right approach. Wilder needs to be quick. He needs to be agile, and his reflexes should not be hindered. And that weight did that. It wasn't the fucking costume. It was the weight that he had. That muscle. Shit, the way he was bulking up, you would think, Deontay Wilder was going out for a movie role or something, where, like the Expendables or Creed 3 or something like that. Then you could see the reason for that added weight. But then I wouldn't want to be a professional fighter because that's not good fighting weight, especially for someone overweight. If you look at the statistics of Deontay Wilder and how much he weighed from his last 40 fights, that shit will be anywhere from 209 to 220 or to 218, 219, 221, 219, 220, 217, 218. It would be that. It wouldn't be 230. That's too much. That's too much, man. Tile was waved in jubilation because they thought they won. Oh, okay. But then the bell just, I don't know, man. How did they think they won with AJ getting nailed? That ain't making sense to me. See, I mean, look, I'm open to whatever, but like, it has to make sense. That ain't making sense to me. AJ was getting fucking handled because Usyk just like, it's like Usyk hit like a gear. You know what I mean? Usyk may upset Fury's flow because he can't call him a big Dawsa. Would have to call him a little one. You're a little Dawsa. You're a cruiserweight. You're a bridgerweight, lad. What are you doing? Wilder shouldn't weigh more than 225, in my opinion. Well, I mean, no, he shouldn't be that heavy. He should be about 220. Wilder, look how agile Wilder was. Why do you think Wilder beat Luis Ortiz? He beat Luis Ortiz in that first fight because his reflexes was quick enough to deliver that right hand. Okay? He was fighting a southpaw. I get it and everything, but he couldn't have done that without having his reflexes intact. You know what I mean? He's athletic anyway. He's a tall, lean guy. Motherfuckers Del Gabo. Please revive the time. No controversy. Okay, I mean, no controversy. I mean, here's the thing. The 3 minutes, it looks suspect. If there was 3 minutes behind it, it really wouldn't have mattered anyway, because Usyk, for one, he didn't plan to knock out AJ. And then for two, he had stopped his onslaught. And it don't matter anyway. I'm going to tell you why, Kareem. It doesn't matter because he already beat AJ unanimously. So what's the fucking difference? You know, it would be different if AJ was on the verge, but it looked for a minute that he was. So, Kareem, is it feasible, just feasible, to see that, hey, maybe they stopped that shit and maybe the car made like it was off, or then because if it was already, here's the thing, if the scorecard was off, how did they know it was off? What did they have to go on? The digital clock, right? Did they have a time clicker with that? Knows. You know, these are just questions. These are just questions. Why does Wilder break his hand all the time? Bobby Kiefer, because he can't punch. I had a moron inbox me yesterday. And the motherfucker was like, well, Wilder was injured. That's why he didn't knock out Fury. Then the motherfucker said, oh, you know, Tyson Fury really lost because the count was slow. And, you know, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I said, well, Wilder, he broke his hand because he can't punch. Well, of course he can punch. How do you think he's knocking people out if he couldn't punch? I'm like, because he can't punch the right way. He doesn't know how to properly punch. You can throw you can throw your fist at a person and you may hurt that person. But if you're hurting yourself, that's unsuccessful because now you've done just as much damage to yourself as you've done with the other person. You know what I mean? I had a friend of mine like that. He couldn't fucking punch. He would throw off emotion. We would go out and we would drink, and then he would get in with somebody, and then he would pull the Deontay Wilder. You know what the Deontay Wilder is? Sneak you. That's what Wilder does in fights. He sneaks you. You know, he might throw to the left and shit, and you see where you at, but he looking for that one shot. I'm gonna lay this motherfucker out. That's all he thinks. Wilder thinks like somebody in the hood that's into a confrontation. It ain't a fight if you can hit someone and say good night. Bars. So because if he's looking, that's all he needs to do. Anybody can really do that. I'm not swing as hard. Why do you think Wilder swings as hard as he can? Because that's the sneak punch. That's the knock your ass out punch. That's what it is. That's the kind of shit you see on World Star. The shit Wilder does is World Star stuff. You know what I mean? Just hit you one time. I'm not trying to fight you. I'm not trying to roll around on the ground with you. I'm not trying to, no, they ain't trying to square up and all that. No, 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 no. It's not any of that. You know, I'm trying to knock you out with one blow, simple, straight to the point. And if I hit you hard enough, you may go. That's what Wilder does. He just became better at doing it because shit, there it is. He's hard. Oh, you know, that's for antics, but he'd already done the job by hitting you the first time. The fight was fair, 12-round fight, and AJ lost fair and square. Let's not straight conspiracies over early stoppages due to error. That's, well, what matters. Well, here's the thing. What doesn't matter is 5 seconds anyhow, because based off the fight itself, that wouldn't have worked. It didn't help anybody, Kareem. You know, you can talk about it, yeah, but what does it really mean? Doesn't mean anything. AJ still lost, regardless of if they stopped it early or if it was a 12-round fight. It does not matter. He was going to lose. He was not going to get knocked out, obviously, because Usyk had stopped his onslaught. That's what's important. See, it's better to say that. It's not the idea of waddling around in conspiracies. Maybe that's just something you have a problem with because of what I said of my opinion. That could have happened, sure. It just looks strange to me that somebody start waving the towel and now you're saying, oh, well, that's because they thought they won. No, no, no. Come on, man. Try again. You know, Usyk wanted a quick rematch, so AJ so couldn't knock AJ out. I don't know. But then but it makes you wonder, like, damn, he knocked out Tony Bellew's ass, didn't he? AJ has the best resume in boxing today. He does, you know? And AJ, see, Wilder and Fury ruined each other with each other. True. Kurt, I think you know certain things that we don't know, and you are a clever man, so just let us know what's happening. Anthony Lorenzo. Yeah, I can give you my opinion based on what I know. But also understand, it's just my opinion. There's no need to get razzled, unglued, all bent. It's all good. You know, AJ's coming over here to better himself. That shows you he wants improvement. So if you do see the next coming weeks, he decides to go with Reynoso's and hang around Canelo and shit like that, you know, because I think that's what it is. I think eventually it will become a conflict of interest because, you know, Andy Ruiz wants that fight more than anything. And Andy over there playing double agent, smiling in Anthony's face. They sitting there, you know, and all that shit all day. And then, you know, AJ does, if he is successful with decisioning Usyk or taking Usyk out, you know, okay, well then what do we have now? AJ's probably going to want to stay with Reynoso, learn more from Canelo, because I think it's more of Canelo promoting Reynoso and vice versa. Then everybody else wants to come along because they know how gifted and talented Canelo is, and he's the cash cow guy. Then you got Canelo and AJ in the same gym. That gym is gonna blow the fuck up. I'm gonna tell you that, right? I'm gonna tell you that right now. Koos Magic, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. AJ needs to get it together or he's gonna get hurt bad. Well, hey, he's in a fight, man. He's in there with a fight. He's in there with a supreme boxer. And I think what people should understand, if Usyk comes in there and he beats someone else then it makes AJ less bad. It makes him you're less critical over AJ at that point. You know, that's it. Usyk will be that guy like, damn. Yeah, let's get those likes up. AJ is the greatest athlete in boxing history. I don't know about that, but you know, you can tell he trains like the Dickens. Can't blame AJ. UK winner setting in and a chance to better himself. Yeah, he needs to come over here and get some of this work. At least AJ didn't get slept like Wilder, just saying. Well, I mean, if you're going to compare what to what, they both got beat twice. One got decisioned with no knockdowns, no draws. He just got completely outboxed. Versus another fight that was a totally different fight with totally two different fighters, and they were fighting for an KO. Look, Fury and Deontay Wilder, there was no way that shit was going to go 12 rounds. It wasn't going to go 12 rounds. Damn near made it 12 rounds, but it wasn't going to go 12 rounds, people. Uh-uh. Big Kurt, you're right. If Wilder wasn't emotional, he KO'd Fury. He missed two shots that would have KO'd Fury clean out in round 4. Too emotional. Well, he's always too emotional. I think what Wilder tried to do is control himself outside the ring, and hopefully him by doing so, that was going to help him control his emotions inside the ring. But you can see right through that shit. Ray Charles could see right through that. You know, once that man gets in the ring, he's going to do something that shows how eager he wants to do something. That's not showing focus. That's showing eagerness. That's what he showed us. Fury is a fringe. Top 20. Facts, not feelings. Victors come out of the victors come out of hiding. Question is, when he did break his hand in the fight. I don't know when he broke his hand in the fight. I think he told Shelly Finkel it was like at the I think round 6. You know, I'll do a video on it. That's on my slew of topics to do a video on. You know, because that's what Shelly Finkel said, that he broke it, and I think he broke the bone behind the knuckle, not the knuckle itself. Once AJ gets some of that Mexican meat and Valdez tea from Reynoso, he'll be unstoppable. He'll be doing 12 rounds like it ain't nothing. Lakin Osagi. Is it Leakin or Likan? Maybe it's Likan, right? I think that if AJ goes over there and then he looks like this big bad motherfucker that can take punches out the ass, it will not look good for the Reynosos. Would not look good at all, because then they're already under the they're under the spotlight now. I'm gonna do a video on that too, but honestly, sneak preview, that gym is under the spotlight. You had Canelo a few years ago with clenbuterol, you know what I mean, and he had traces that could have meant people that whatever he was taking, if it wasn't fucking Mexican beef, that meant he was not fully off of cycling that shit out of his system if he was deliberately taking something. If, mind you, I say, if he was deliberately taking something, it was not, they missed it maybe by a day. This is the question you ask yourself, right? Well, first of all, Lekan, appreciate the super chat, appreciate the love. I think Wilder broke his hand. Ashifaba looks like a wolfy knee heaps clothing. A sheep looks like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay. Yeah, Wilder broke his hand. But anyway, AJ can't box. No, AJ can box. He just can't outbox a guy that's a masterful boxer. So I don't want to hear that AJ can't box shit. I'm going to tell you who can't box. Wilder can't box. Wilder can punch. I don't think Wilder's a very good fighter. Fighter's the kind of guy. Look, just because you can punch don't mean you can fight. Ukraine people, not soft, hard life over there. No, they're not. They're not soft at all. Yeah, Joshua can box. That was his problem. He thought he was a better boxer than Usyk. Wilder, look, I feel bad for Wilder because that ain't the best that's not the best example of Wilder. That ain't. All that. Hopefully Malik Scott gets it right, because I don't like what Malik Scott's saying either, because he sounds a lot like McCracken. Oh, he did beautifully. He did everything I want him to do. Well, damn, based on how? You know what I mean? Because shit, I didn't see him doing that at all. I didn't see him doing that. I seen him tired. I seen him sluggish. I seen him not throwing his left hook, not even turning it over. You know what I'm saying? You seen him attempt to go to the body, but the punch placement was bad. It looked like somebody that was fatigued, that was trying to fight, like that knockdown in the 10th round where he went to the body and he threw a left hook, and then Fury he's ducked it, and then he came up and he hit him and he fell down and shit like a ton of bricks. That was bad. That was bad. Kurt AJ can't move his head. Wilder sparks him out. If Fury gets hit, AJ's get hit twice as much by Wilder. AJ can't take a punch. It would be a bloodbath. Would not be a bloodbath. If Wilder hit Anthony Joshua the right spot, his ass might go good night, more than likely. But AJ fighting Wilder is like this. Which one of these guys hit each other first? Because if AJ hits Wilder and hurts Wilder, AJ's going to come, hopefully. If he tries to go back and try to be cute, he's going to he'll let Wilder get back in the game, and Wilder do exactly what he did to Tyson Fury and catch his ass with a right, and his ass is going to the canvas. But I mean, why wouldn't you want to see a fight like that? I want to see Wilder Joshua. If them motherfuckers fought 10 times, I bet you would get each time a different result. You know what I mean? Because I don't see those guys now. I think the punching power will be Wilder has the huge right. Anthony has more of a balanced attack. I think Anthony can hurt Wilder. I don't think any of them's none of these fucking heavyweights are bulletproof people. So we can't just, oh man, this guy, he doesn't have it. Well, fuck, I mean, look, you forget Fury got knocked down by a cruiserweight, remember? So you can't forget that. What, his chin got better? Just because he took some wild ass rights from Deontay Wilder, breaking Wilder's hand? Put it this way. Look at it this way. Lacan, to be honest, I hope AJ wins. Heavyweight division is more interesting with him in the mix. He doesn't really have the chin to go full Crunk style, but he definitely needs to have more confidence and take more risk. Well, AJ is not going anywhere. Why do you think we're talking about this motherfucker? It's damn near 500 of us on the chat talking about AJ. AJ ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? Thank you for the love, Lacan, but AJ ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? Broneritis. AJ got broneritis. Yo, John Evans, got a punch to you. Look, I was thinking that shit. I was like, yo, AJ, you might turn into a fucking Adrian Broner. He was hanging out with Broner, right? He was over in the States at some point. Nope, AJ will be here. He is Britain's poster boy. Yeah, he will go somewhere. Wilder has a rotten watermelon head. That's fucked up. That's not right. The man is done if he loses. Simple. Nah. He would I think he would go down. I mean, all of them. Think about it. Him, Dillian White, right? It's just the progression of boxing, what people are doing with their career. Broner got drinking problems too. AJ is focused to turn into gunshot Broner. You better stay away from Broner. You better not hang around Broner. Hey, AJ, man. AJ, what's up, man? Let's go get some hoes. I'm supposed to be drinking. Let me jump in your Range Rover, AJ. I got this bottle of Crown. Boxing wins when everybody in the top 10 fights each other. Absolutely. Since Ruiz punched the soul out of him, AJ's been gunshot. Broner was a bad influence on Spence. Yeah, he was. I don't like this is Spence. I don't like him at all. I don't like him at all. Like, yeah, you are drunk too. Just like all of them. You, AB, Tank Davis. Last time AJ showed passion was the Klitschko fight. Shit, maybe Klitschko helped him beat some of that shit out of him. Wicked Intent Semi. AJ's mentally defeated. Well, we'll see what he does in this next fight. He needs to get mad or something. Spence DeVille, you ain't right. You remember he was talking about Terrence Crawford? Who Terrence Crawford fought? Who Terrence Crawford fought? Ndongo just got knocked out. Who else he ain't fought? Terrence Crawford. Me and Terrence Crawford, we on two sides of we on the other side of the street. He on the other side of the street. He can't fight me. I ain't going to ESPN. I fight for PBC Fox. I ain't going to ESPN at all. At all. He was drunk. They're like, dude, what is he on? You know what I mean? Like, is that like some hypnotic or I don't know what them cats, they kind of got some bread, so they'll probably be drinking. I don't know. Knowing them cats, they'll probably have some cheap shit in that cup, like some Four Loko or some shit. AB looks like he drinks like fucking cheap shit. He gets fucked up. Some 8-ball old English and shit. Yo, man. I'm disappointed in AJ as a Brit and Nigerian. Damn, Tony G. Tell us how you really feel. After the Ruiz fight, he hasn't been the same. Sup, Kurt? Boy, you funny as hell with those impressions. Wilder versus Joshua, when both were undefeated back, was the biggest thing in boxing. That's what fucking happens. 75% human, 25% beast. That's what happens when fights don't happen when they're supposed to. And see, they can talk about all the money that they made. The motherfucker should have made money fighting each other. And that's real. That's real. I mean, you can say what you want. That shit should have happened to the point where they should have fought twice. Tyson Fury really came in and stole everybody's shit. He robbed everybody, but then got robbed. So it was karma on Fury. Fury came in and wanted to steal some of that money because he seen AJ making that many pounds. Son of a bitch is making 20 million pounds a fight. I'll come back in and I'll fight Deontay Wilder. Kurt, counter punch to you. Counter punch to you, brother. Doing good. Doing very well. AJ is not mentally defeated, but was stampeded by a better boxer. That may be the case. Usyk ain't nobody to fuck with, I keep telling you guys. He ain't that dude. He is not that dude. He is not what you think he is. That motherfucker's like a Drago mixed with fucking Loma and Klitschko and, you think the heavyweight division needs a tournament. I know they need a tournament. Sean Smith, counterpunch to you coming in with them 2 pounds. AJ should focus on hurting opponents. King Ra, he needs to focus on that shit. I want to see that guy that fought Dillian White. That's the guy I want to see. One stick out his tongue and come in and swing and fight you and shit. Throwing punches. You know what I mean? I want to see that AJ. Now that's the AJ that they knew, well, damn, he gets in there with Wilder. He'll spark Wilder out. I mean, yeah, he has the ability to do that. But see, Wilder, that tall, lean Wilder that has quick reflexes, that knows how to close the distance, that motherfucker give anybody problems. Ask Tyson Fury. Usyk is smart. He is fundamentally sound. He has speed and power. If he was 6'6" or better, everyone would be running scared. Freedom. Here's the thing. If he was 6'6", I think if he was 6'6", he would probably be worse. He would be no. Him being the height that he is now makes him more dangerous because most taller fighters have problems with shorter fighters. Okay? And a guy like Usyk, punching upward, for him, muscle memory and power-wise, it's good because he knows how to fight taller fighters. He's had experience fighting taller fighters. So, no, man. I think he's more dangerous because he's shorter, because he's smaller. Resume doesn't win fights. No, they don't win fights. Strategy does. Commitment, focus, game plan. His size is similar to Tyson. Perfect. Taller fighters kryptonite. Wicked intent semi. Absolutely. See, if he was taller, I think he would be more of a target because he's already eye level. That's why I give Joshua a better chance of beating Fury than someone like Wilder now, because Wilder can't fight. He can just punch well. He just has a dangerous punch. But he can't. You seen him. He didn't put punches together. He caught Fury and then he swung with one. Fury took a dive because he knew he didn't want to get hit again. I told you guys, I posted that video yesterday. That's why I did it. Because I said, you know what? Fury took those dives to get more time. Balls like King Kong wins fights. Boxing Heads TV. Bullshit. Balls like King Kong will sometimes get you dead. Get you in the hospital. Get you in a damn coma. Yeah, because I think AJ's achieved whatever boxing ability he needed. Yeah, he has boxing ability. He can't outbox a guy like Usyk. He's not the better boxer. And he proved not to be the better fighter either. Why? Because when it was time for Usyk, when Usyk said, fuck it, foo, 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 foo. What did Joshua do? That was Joshua's time to say, fuck it, you fight? Come on, now let's go, motherfucker. Come on, let's go. That was that time. That was that time. He didn't take that advantage. Usyk had opened up. When a fighter that technical opens up, it's your opportunity to make that shit count. You better punch in between that shit. You know what I mean? And Joshua didn't want to do it. Joshua, Under Armour, Range Rover. Fuck. Right? So that's what happened. So when Usyk opened up on him, AJ knew that was AJ's time. Okay, here's my shot. Let me make this shit count. Let me try to get one of them right uppercuts in there or something to change this shit around or something. Even if he lost, people have been like, man, if AJ would have hit him again, mate, would have bloody fucking hit him with the right and then followed that left hook. It'd been over with for Usyk. He buckled him, mate. This is a great channel. You have yourself a new follower, Speaks Facts. Staggerly Goods. Appreciate the love, brother. That's all it is, facts over here. That's all you got. But yeah, but see, here's the thing. He should have been ready to go balls to the wall. I don't give a shit if he looked drunk like Wilder. He should have still swung. Hell, Wilder still... Why do you think Wilder's praised right now by certain people? He's praised because regardless of how the fuck he looked, regardless of how tired he was, regardless of how his stance and his posture was, he still kept fighting. He didn't know, hey, I know how to throw a jab. I know how to throw a right hand. He did exactly that. You know what I mean? He knew how to do what he could do until he couldn't do it anymore. That's why people look at Wilder like, dude, that's a true fucking warrior. See, Wilder, people are talking about that, and it has crossed over. Think about it. Joe Rogan watched boxing anyway, but like Daniel Cormier, other guys in the UFC. UFC fights are like that. They're like that. They're like, oh, boom, 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 boom. And then people all crunk that are UFC. That's why UFC in America has so many fans, because we like that Rocky Balboa shit. Why do you think Rocky's so popular? Not because he's fucking technical like Floyd Mayweather, or better yet, like Apollo, right? You know what I mean? So, look, when Wilder went out and ended up flat on his face, that's a good soldier's death. Okay, now AJ not doing that, it just shows, it reflects like, well, damn, at least Wilder did this, at least Wilder did that. He got knocked the fuck out. Hutchman 1984, Kurt, how do you donate to the channel? They got a little dollar button down there. You can hit it and then put your stuff in, appreciate it in advance. Mueller 27. Heyman would rather lose 120 mil than give AJ a chance at Undisputed and make Hearn become a huge fan in the U.S. Well, it was all Mueller 27. There is some truth to that. I think while Heyman, this is Heyman though. Heyman doesn't want to deal with anything that he cannot. He's not going to support anything that he cannot control. That was the problem. Him letting Wilder go over to the zone pretty much takes away from any credibility or power or control that he has, because it would be a complete the zone thing. He wouldn't be Al Heyman. Al Heyman probably would still be his side hustling advisor, but he wouldn't be the guy that has the connects with PBC, Fox, Showtime, because there is no PBC, Fox, Showtime. So since you don't have those, he couldn't control anything. That's why he was like, let me shut this shit off, because nobody doing nothing without me. I want control. It's a power thing with Al Heyman. Al Heyman didn't want to go with the zone. Him and his adopted son Floyd Money Mayweather. That's an app. Nobody gonna watch this shit on an app. I don't want to watch this shit on my phone. I want to watch this shit on my TV. Well, you know, Floyd, they have smart TV. Fuck you. Shut up. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear what you're talking about. That shit on your TV. That shit's on your TV. I don't want to watch shit on my. I want to watch shit on my phone. Wallen versus White. Who you got, Kurt? White should take him out. If he doesn't, he's finished. He's finished on an elite level. His chances of championship status is over. And you know what? It would really fuck up the division, though, because White's more marketable. Otto Vailene, I would be happy for him. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy for all these fighters, especially when, like, Ruiz, I was happy for him. Or Usyk, I'm happy for Usyk, even though Usyk's never been down to the wayside. He's always been on top. Otto Vailene, it just shows you where the boxing landscape is evolving to. You know, we're seeing the top fighters are changing. That's what we're seeing. There's no longer Joshua, Wilder, Fury. There's now Fury, Usyk, White. You see what I mean? Those are the top three now. Whereas Joshua Wilder, who else lost recently? F.A. Jog, those guys, they're on the like third tier, to be, fair. Heyman knows the result before we do, most cases. Otto, Carmen, they knew that. They knew with him signing them contracts, that was going to be an exclusive deal with the zone with 4 fights. And where the fuck was Al Heyman going to come in at? He probably wasn't. That's why he was like, oh, hell no. I'm not going to get percentages from whatever Wilder decides to give me. I'm going to control this situation by bringing my fighter back, renegotiating my fighter with Showtime, giving him an increase that he's never seen in his life, pitch the bid to him about being loyal, let him eat that shit up, and that's exactly what Wilder did. Wilder went on there, and let me tell y'all, we had a lot of fighters that wouldn't loyal to Showtime. You had Joshua and everybody, y'all come on this channel, this network, and then y'all leave and go all somewhere else. I'm showing Showtime I'm law. I'm a law being. We don't do that. I stay here. I'm going to bet on myself. Don't take everything into everybody feeding you. It might look good. Vic, what happened? Showtime dropped his ass. Then they went to Fox. Yeah, Showtime gave him $10 million. They gave him $10 million, but after that fight, they dropped him. Then he went to Fox. You've noticed he ain't been back on Showtime, right? Because Steven Espinosa said he's not marketable enough. So they fucked him good. They really did him wrong. That dude's that. I pity the fool that dude's that. What about Hrgovic and Makhmadov? Joshua would have trouble. Look, those guys, man, given the opportunity, damn near all these guys will give each other trouble. You don't know until they fight. Let's just be real. It's so many different fights that a lot of people avoid because of that reason. You don't know what could happen. I think Vailene took too much damage against Fury. No, I don't think he did. If that was the case, King Midas, if it was like that, that meant that Dominic Brazil should have ran over Otto Vilene. That didn't happen because he caught Vilene with some good uppercuts later in that fight after Vilene busted him up. But Dominic Brazil's a pretty decent puncher. He can punch. So he caught Otto Vilene with those uppercuts. Boom! You see this whole head rock back, but he didn't go nowhere. He didn't go nowhere. Vilene had Fury out on his feet in the 12th. Fury got hit. He got caught with a good shot. He did. Plus, he had the injury on his eye. I think he was more worried about his eye on what, the condition was on his eye. Kurt, who do you think is next for Wilder and why? Probably Charles Martin. Um, that would be shitty. Like he fights Luis Ortiz again. I'm gonna shit a brick. I'm gonna cuss. I'm gonna be like Lady Shan. Fucking liars! you know, do a showbiz the adult impression. That man has some energy, boy. He has some energy. I tell you. You know, King KO. What's up? Scans Rants. What's up with you? Oh, do you think AJ will overcome his fear of getting hit? I think it's over for him. Done. He can't better retire. No, let's see what AJ does. It's always those times because it ain't like AJ sitting up quiet and crying and and doing all this and do no. AJ's in America lifting weights, doing whatever, looking at, he's always a learner. So he doesn't look at like, okay, I lost, okay, but it was a good experience. You know, Uncle Bob, I still say AJ's a bum. I told all you bastards that would listen. He's a bum. Andy Ruiz, a Pillsbury doughboy, beat him, knocked him out. That shows to me that he's not a threat to Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. Son of a bitch. He's just a fucking bodybuilder, like Tyson Fury says. He's just a bodybuilder. But you're right. Wilder destroys AJ, smashes him to pieces. Look, again, Wilder doesn't destroy anybody. I think what we need to say, Wilder just knocks you out. Wilder just the only time I seen him like beat someone or come close to destroy was Bermane Stiverne in the second fight. Because he knocked him down and he knocked him down again and he knocked him down. That was he destroyed him. Yeah, but most of his fights are like that one punch he hits you with and boom, you're done. He ain't gonna like beat you up round after round. Wilder hits too powerful with one hand to destroy you. He just knocks you out because he has one punch knockout power, right? Right? That's the saying. That's how the saying goes. He's known for that, right? That's his perception. He has the one punch knockout power. So a person with one punch knockout power ain't got enough punches. Like he ain't gonna hit you 5 times. You know what I mean? With a right. No, he's gonna hit you once with the right. And then from that right, on the strength of that right, you either get knocked out or you're gonna get dropped or you're gonna be so hurt that then he may swing at you and you'll fall like Tyson Fury did. But then you'll know quick, fuck, this guy can punch. So that's what happens with Wilder. Wilder ain't like, he'll destroy you. No, Wilder will just knock you out. He will quit inside the ring. Sewell, if AJ quits if he quits, or let's say he pulls a Daniel Dubois against Wilder, yeah, he should just go home. Go home to Sheffield, bro. Just go, because people, the people will turn their back on you. You pull some shit like that. But also understand though, the bad thing about Wilder is Wilder knows he has a puncher's chance. And I think he's probably out of those three fighters, he's probably more likely to take long-term damage. Think about it. He didn't want that fight to be stopped in the second fight. And he went 11 rounds in the third fight. But look at the punishment that he took in two fights, in both fights. He took a lot of punishment. And as someone like Wilder, he thinks, well, hey, just keep me in there, keep me in there, keep me in there, keep me in there. I'm gonna land this punch. I'm gonna land that right. I'm gonna land it eventually. So it's like, Kurt, take that back. He's a softie from England, from London, not north of England. Oh, okay. Damn, that's right. London is in England, ain't it? I'm sorry. Sheffield. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Damn. Shane should train him proper. Everyone gets hurt. You just need to be able to recover fast. AJ finds it hard to recover. Well, I mean, do you guys think AJ was hurt? That's why he fought like that? Joshua, counterpunch. Salute to you. Why does his ear keep bleeding? Because he keeps getting popped in it. Tyson Fury he's targeting that ear. He knows how to hit Wilder and where to hit Wilder. He comes across that left shoulder of Wilder, and he knows where to place that punch. It's easy. Wilder's a pretty good guy. I mean, well, he took jabs and made him like, oh. I'm like, damn, what's wrong with you, Wilder? Dude, he just jabbed you. Fuck, you bobbing all around from a jab. So, like, I think all these guys are probably, you know, see, Fury has the best known resistance because it's how he markets himself. Okay, hey, I'm in there with Wilder, the hardest puncher in heavyweight history. So if he can take a punch from Wilder and get up, that surely shows that, hey, I'm the more durable out of these other three. I mean, other two guys. Wilder clumsy, AJ punch shy. I don't think AJ would be put like, you have to understand. I think he didn't know where and how to punch Usyk, and then when he did punch him, he didn't have a way to follow up because Usyk wasn't hurt. I guarantee you, if he hit Usyk with a fucking punch and he staggered Usyk, he would go right for Usyk. I believe you that. He's gun shy because he tried to box a guy that he couldn't outbox, which was dumb. Wrong game plan. You know, he lacks mental strength. This is his issue. Ooh. Fury will KO AJ with three maximum with three maximum in 4 rounds. AJ lacks mental strength. Sanchez would beat AJ. AJ no real stamina. Ooh, Frank Sanchez, that would be a good fight. And you know what? Like small guys like that, I think he has problems with smaller guys. Like 6'3", 6'4". You know what I mean? Let me ask you guys a question. How do you think now, looking at AJ, right, in his last performance, how do you think Michael Hunter versus Anthony Joshua would go? Barry B. AJ was never as good as people thought. Chinny, stiff, punch, lacks heart. AJ can actually box. He outboxed Parker and Ruiz. I guess that's why he thought that he was a good boxer. No, he thought he was a better boxer than Usyk. I keep telling you guys. It's not that AJ can't box. Yeah, he can box. And I think his boxing ability will be his lackluster. And that was his problem. No, Michael Hunter is no Usyk. He is not. True. AJ loses to any good fighter at the moment. Punch shy. Strength matters in the ring, not outside. AJ has a chance though, but I think Usyk is a class above most of the heavyweights. I believe he's more skilled than probably any heavyweight, and that may be including Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? Like, there, I've said it. Fuck. You got a guy that's pound for pound. He's not an original heavyweight, right? He's not, he does, he's new to the heavyweight division. And he showed that he can take punches. He showed that he can give punches. So I think it's not the time to shit on AJ. I think it's time to celebrate Usyk and welcome this man to the heavyweight division. I think we need to do that. I think you guys need, you need to understand that. Because at the end of the day, Usyk is a heavyweight now. He's the unified heavyweight champion. That's what he is. He's more skilled than Fury by far. And I'm not a fan of both guys. Fury is way bigger and more durable, but people shouldn't sleep on either guy. No, they shouldn't. I think like Fury knows how to, he may learn how to keep Usyk more on his toes, because what Fury will do, Fury will jab, he will feint and then he will jab. And I think what he'll do with Usyk, he will try his best. He will try his best to slap, to flick the jab at him. So he won't be able to come inside. Because I think what happens when Usyk comes inside and catches Fury with something that he didn't see coming, Fury's going to then say, you know what? I'm going to keep this little bastard outside, and I'm going to start flicking that jab and trying my best to land that right hand. Fury he will change on the fly. Like, okay, I see what you're doing. You know what I mean? Bah, 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 bah. And then when Usyk tries to grab him, when Tyson tries to grab him, he might duck and slip out. And that's going to be what I want to see. Will Usyk allow that bear hugging grab, that headlock type strategy, leaning on your body, which I don't think he'll be able to, because Usyk, if you look at Usyk, he's on the outside most of the time. He ain't coming in and trying to throw punches and trying to, uppercut and trade. No, he's always on his feet. He is always on his feet. Like, look at this guy. He's always on his feet. Look at him. He's throwing combinations, but look where he's at. He's on the outside on the back foot. Look, putting combinations together. That's exactly what he does. You see what I mean? That's exactly what he does. Fury reflexes are shot. Usyk would make Fury look worse than AJ. Well, at that point, though, if that happens, we will have to see when it happens. But it wouldn't surprise me, none of this shit. Just understand, I told you so, and I'm letting you guys know of the possibilities of it happening. Capital 2 times. What up, Kurt? It's your boy Andy B, aka Young Capital, tapping in. Counterpunch to you. What about Wilder going to Bridgerweight? No, I don't want him to get fucking smaller to go to a fucking Mauricio trap house. You know what I mean? No, that's just a Mauricio trap so he can create more sanction and fees. No, I don't want anybody going to Bridgerweight. They should all be at heavyweight. You want to see Usyk, Rivas, Ruiz, Joyce, Babbitt, Ruiz. Think about Babbitt and Ruiz. That'd be a good fight. Chisora held him down against the ropes. Watch it again, Kurt. Yeah, he had to hold him, though, when he could. And Derek knew, bitch, stop moving. So I'm going to hold you and hit you. But guess what? That was something that was allowed to happen from the ref. Don't make sense. AJ got smaller and failed to adjust for Usyk dumb fight plan. Otter, this is what he did. I'm going to tell you exactly what AJ did. AJ lost weight so he could box because he thought he could outbox the boxer. That's what happened. Easy peasy. That's easy to understand because he knows at a certain point he will get tired with all that extra weight. And he's like, okay, the better chance I have to effectively outbox Usyk is to slim down. That's exactly what he did all day long. All day long. I think Wilder's sweet spot is at like 218. 225 is still too heavy. AJ needs to fight dirty. You can't fight clean with Usyk and win. You need to go dirty. AJ's not a dirty fellow. So I don't see AJ doing dirty shit in order just to win a fight. I think he has more integrity than that. You just won't see him do what you want him to do. But understand, Usyk will not let him do what he wants to do. That's the whole thing. Hey, I get hyped with the counterpunch every time. Counterpunch to you. Usyk is a very good boxer and skilled, but Usyk doesn't have power. Okay, Leon Musa. Okay. If he stops fucking Anthony Joshua, don't call Anthony Joshua just his chinny bum. But people will do that. I get it. So I can't say stop saying it if you know it's going to happen. People are going to say it. So when Usyk does something like fucking beats the shit out of somebody like Wilder or Ruiz, then we'll know. As Bruce Lee said, precision and speed over size, 135 versus his 165 he was. John Evans, Usyk got power. All heavyweights got power. And volume of punches can be adequate, or it can equate power. You damn right. Get hit with 10 fucking shots. That's a totally different situation, ain't it? What AJ sweet spot? He looked tired at 240. No, I was talking about Deontay Wilder's sweet spot. I don't even know what Anthony Joshua's sweet spot is anymore. You know what I mean? Because that added weight wasn't him. You guys remember when Dillian White called AJ a lanky piece of shit? You know why he did that? Because AJ used to be tall and skinny. He added that weight on to add to his appearance. You remember when Dillian White said that after he knocked out Derek Chisora? He was like, I'm talking about that lanky piece of shit over there. Pissed off AJ. AJ was fucking pissed. That's why I think AJ wants to get all buff and shit, because he's normally a lean guy like Wilder. Just look, you guys don't believe me. Look at AJ in older pictures when he was in the Olympics. He was a slender dude. Hell yeah. John Evans. Yeah, Bell, you better ask him. He's the best fighter I've ever seen. I wish you all the success. Dylan said AJ's a weird guy. I support that statement. You tried to outbox a boxer. Yeah, AJ, he pissed AJ off because he called AJ a lanky piece of shit. But he knew him from the Olympics. He knows AJ. AJ just bulked up and put a lot of fucking muscle mass on. That's all he did. And that shit looked good when he was knocking motherfuckers out, but it fucking it turned out to be the worst. All right. It turned on his ass. Like Usyk, and he never fucking stops. Usyk don't stop, bro. That motherfucker don't drink. Think about it. He don't drink no smoke and shit like that. What do you think that means? A guy like that'll fight you all day. He'll fight you all day. Kurt totally right about volume punching and also about Fury's perception. He talked about one punch knockout power, but he finished Wilder with a 7-punch combo, not one punch. Yeah, he ain't got no one punch knockout power. Shit, that's why, look, AJ versus Fury would probably produce one of the best fights we ever seen. That's why I do want to see the fight. So if it takes him stepping aside to fight Usyk, that's if they can beat Usyk. Usyk comes in here as a freaking problem. You say he'll KO AJ. I would love to see that. Because he's not dealing with a person just with a jab and a hard right hand. He's dealing with a person that's going to throw left hooks, uppercuts, right hands, jabs to the body, feints. He's going to do a lot of things. You know what I mean? And you can't say AJ ain't accustomed to fighting someone 6'9". Because look what he did to slow big ass Dominic Brazil. He beat the piss out of Brazil, but he was taller. AJ's better with taller fighters. I'm trying to tell you guys. See, it's so easy. Oh man, Wilder knocked him out. Well, shit. Wilder got to hit him first. See, Anthony, if he establishes the jab with Wilder, which I'm pretty confident he can do, and setting up punches, he'll fuck Wilder up. Wilder will hang in there soon until he gets hit with something, unless Wilder catches him and hurts him. He could have given the belt up, Darren Tots. I bet you if Eddie knew if he knew the future, he would have told AJ, man, get rid of that WBO belt. Fuck that belt. Now he took all of them. That's funny. Fury needs to sort his mental situation before AJ needs to sort his mental situation before he can move forward boxing wise. Honestly, I don't think AJ has the time. If AJ has a severe mental problem, he ain't got time to settle it. If it's bad like people think, like what is he going to do to overcome that? Shit, he got like Rocky with Drago. I'm afraid. Okay? I'm afraid. You can't win. You know how strong he is? You can't win. Big Baby Miller versus AJ if he loses. That would be good. I think AJ wouldn't fight him that quick. AJ would fight someone like, now let's say Dillian White lost. AJ, Dillian White, domestic fight. That's easy. People would come to see it. Kurt Eddie would have definitely told AJ to bow that belt. Fuck that belt, hey. Fuck that belt, Joshua. Anthony, fuck that belt. Fucking guys all over the place like fucking Matrix. Fuck them. Just give up the fucking belt. We'll fight Fury. We'll come back and fight that motherfucker. Come on, man, fuck it. Holyfield versus Usyk, both in the prime. Man, that'll be a hell of a fight. That'll be one hell of a fight. But understand something. What gives Holyfield problems is southpaws. Remember him and Michael Moore? Michael Moore was a southpaw, slick southpaw. Gave Holyfield all kind of problems. He beat Holyfield one of those fights. AJ needs Teddy. Get up, you bum. Teddy loves you. Yeah, he'll tell fucking. You look fucking good. Is that all you're talking about? You're looking, you're smiling. You think this shit's funny? You think it's funny? He hit you, you laughed. You fucking get mean. Fuck that. Fight this fucking guy. Fucking fight him. Get fucking mad. You're too fucking happy. Don't smile at me. Don't smile at me. Teddy will have a fit, bro. You will have a fit. How Usyk looks when he eats some good hands. That's a good question. But I don't think Usyk breaks under pressure, though. That's the whole thing. Mentally, I think Usyk's probably stronger than any motherfucker that's fighting above 175. No. Peddling Paul. Mick, no. Get up, Rocky, you fucking bum. He'll kill you, Rock. He'll knock you in the next week. Those fights were handpicked. AJ is smart, but he has some weakness like his head. If he gets hit, he go down very easily. Dillian White versus Jarrell Miller. That would be good. Oh, I would love that fight. Shit talkers. You know what I mean? I would like that. If he loses, does Eddie Hearn stick with AJ after the Lifetime deal? Shit, it's just, mind you, will AJ turn on his ass? Will Eddie turn on him? You're fucking not worth it, mate. Let's just fucking sell the contract. Go home. Fucking retire, mate. Fucking retire. We made all the money. I can't do nothing for you. Kurt, did you hear Tyson say on IFL that AJ needs to beat Usyk the way that Tyson beat Steve Cunningham? What's your thoughts on that, bro? I know you seen that Steve fight. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I have to go back and watch it. But he's not Tyson Fury though. Tyson Fury had a before going with whatchamacallit, he had his like this little fucking quick style. Mini Deontay Wilder looked jacked up, bulk, looked like a bodybuilder. And well, look where it got him. Slow, poor reflexes, not where it needs to be. Fury took some big shots against Cunningham. Joshua ain't doing that with Usyk and winning. What ridiculous statement from Fury. Cunningham is no Usyk. Well, here's the thing, too, man. I mean, a lot of people think Cunningham beat Fury, right? I still want to see Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder make sense. Yeah. All the pressure's gone. They both lost twice. The pressure's gone. He punches hard, but he ain't no power puncher to beat Usyk like that. Well, one power punch or your punching power won't save you in each and every situation. It just won't. Because see, another thing you have to understand, Usyk has a chin. Okay? He's small and he can take a shot from a bigger guy. That's scary. That's scary. Because you would think someone that technical, the kink in the anchor would be that they couldn't take that punch because they're quick, they're nimble, they're fast. You know what I mean? Boom! They out cold. Well, you hit Usyk like that, Usyk's still there. He's like, damn, what is this fucking guy on? What's his problem? Right? So that's that. But AJ, I think, in closing, guys, I think AJ, he needs to take this time and really think about and reflect his career. Think about where he's at. He's talking about throwback fighters. You know the type of fighters he's talking about? American fighters. Okay, so if he wants to be a throwback fighter, he needs to come over here and get with someone that's going to actually help him to become a better fighter, not just a fighter, a better fighter for a particular fight, but a better fighter overall. So then the next fight he'll be prepared. Then the next fight he'll be prepared. He'll be prepared in a different way versus a guy that he shares amateurs with to train for the fucking Olympics like Rob McCracken. Okay. But anyway, guys, I thank all damn near 400 of you for coming on this live feed. It's been cool. It's been awesome. Everybody be safe. God bless you. And everyone on the chat has been counterpunched. Peace.